I want to begin by agreeing with our ranking member and others, you, Lieutenant General Kane, on commending General C.Q. Brown for his exceptional 4 decades of service. I fully agree with the accolades he's receiving in this committee and wish him and his family the best. You know, I've served under, met with hundreds of flag officers in my positions as a U.S. Senator, as a U.S. Marine, and I will say, General, I think you are one of the most impressive flag officers I've met with, and I don't say that lightly. Like I said, I've met with hundreds. I think it's the combination of all the experiences, to Senator Duckworth's point, Guard, Reserve, private sector. I mean, you're bringing a lot in here, and I think that's going to be very, very important. I do want to touch on this topic that we're playing up a lot here on keeping politics out of our military. I couldn't agree more with that. I think it's really important. Big part of my career here. I've tried to make sure that happens. But I will say, we're not talking about what just happened the last 4 years. I think the military was politicized in a huge way, particularly from the civilian leaders who were pushing left-wing theories on the military, pushing climate change over shipbuilding. The Undersecretary for Policy came before this committee and told us that our military is, quote, systemically racist. It's ridiculous, right? Do you believe our military is systemically racist? Is that what you saw in your 30-plus years of service?
No, Senator.
So do you agree, just to make 100% sure, with the Secretary of Defense's testimony when he came here, that our military professionals, uniformed professionals, need to remain apolitical and committed to our Constitution, identified not as Republicans or Democrats, but warriors and leaders? Is that your commitment?
It is, Senator.
And will you commit to this committee to doing that?
I will, Senator.
Thank you. I'm not going to let this hearing go by without a famous quote from the father of the U.S. Air Force, Billy Mitchell, who was talking about a certain place in the world. He said, whoever controls this place controls the world. It is the most strategic place in the world. What place was Billy Mitchell talking about, General?
Alaska,
And do you agree with Billy Mitchell's incredibly insightful analysis?
Mitchell was a brilliant air power theorist.
That's a yes,
yes,
I
sir.
assume you're
Yes, sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, look, our adversaries agree. You and I talked about this in my office. Again, I appreciate the hearing. We've had huge incursions, huge number of incursions in the last 2 years. Russian, Chinese, joint Russian-Chinese strategic bomber task forces into our ADAs, joint Russian-Chinese naval task forces into our EEZ up in Alaska. We are on the front lines of great power competition with regard to our adversaries. You and I talked about infrastructure in Alaska for our military. The president, after his election, said we will ensure Alaska gets even more defense investments as we rebuild our military, especially as Russia and China are making menacing moves in the North Pacific. That's from the commander-in-chief. The Indo-PACOM commander, NORTHCOM commander recently said that this very vital naval base, former naval base in Adak, is a former sub base, air base, huge fuel depot, one of the biggest fuel depots for our Navy in the world. We have a Navy team there right now, this week, looking at reopening that. Can I get your commitment to work with this committee and me on infrastructure that can protect our northern flank? Because as the NORTHCOM commander recently testified, these incursions are only going to increase.
Yes, sir.
Let me talk about another issue. It doesn't come up a lot. You talked about urgent action, reform to go faster with greater efficiency. I think one of our unsung success stories in this regard is 8A contractors working with the Department of Defense. DoD can use these 8A contractors if they want. They don't have to, but they bring efficiency, speed, low-cost contracts and quality services. I saw a recent example of a integrated request from DoD to have a wheeled vehicle that can put a Harpoon anti-ship system on it. This 8A contractor got it designed in 2 weeks, got it produced in a month, or I'm sorry, inside of 12 months. They're already in Taiwan. They're going to produce 20 more in 18 months. The OEMs, big primes, if they tried to do that, would have taken them 10 years. Can you commit to me to continue to work with these small businesses that I think deliver readiness, efficiency, and modernization?
I will, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.